Hi, in this video, we will review how to create custom screening questions, custom question sets, and knockout screening questions. To create custom screening questions, we can go to the Settings admin page under Configuration and open the screening questions. You can click New Set, or on the Question Library tab, you can create a new question. When creating a new question, you're presented with a number of different question types. Within the drop-down tab, you can select the type of screening question you look to configure. In this example, we're going to go ahead and select a yes/no question for the candidate to select. You can present a question title, the question itself. You also are offered the option to mark a question as a diversity question, which you can then report on later. You'll see a preview of the question, and you can save. Once questions are made, they will appear in the question library where you can edit the text later on if need be, or you can add to make sure that this is a diversity question. The question that we created was the preferred work location, which you can see on this list. If you happen to mark the question as a diversity question, you will see the diversity icon next to it. Now that you've configured a number of custom screening questions, let's go ahead and create a new set. When you click the New Set button, you'll be presented with the option to title your set, decide if you want it to be a public or internal question set, the option to allow candidates to submit their pictures, the configuration options, which will help you assign certain question sets to jobs, and then, of course, down below, the option to create your actual question set. You'll see when you click on the drop-down tab that there's a number of the default questions available for you to select. For this example, let's go ahead and look for the custom screening question that we created. Once you select the custom screening question, you will see it added to your question set. You have the option to remove it, and if you happen to have additional questions added to your question set, you can change the order around. You'll also notice that there's an icon here. If you click on the icon for settings, you can mark the question as required, a knockout question, which will mean that if the candidate answers the question incorrectly, they will be knocked out of the application process. And you can assign which users can see the question, meaning that if you assign all users to see it, any user with correct access to review candidate application questions will see it on the candidate application. Or if you want to make it so only users with full access can see the questions, you can do that here as well. For this example, I'm going to make this preferred work location a knockout question and make it so that if the candidate does not want to work in an office and they answer no, then they will be knocked out of the application process. In order to add a question set to a job, you need to select specific org fields that match with your job details. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and say I want this question set to apply to all my brands, but I only want this question set to apply to jobs that are in customer service and engineering. What this will do is it'll make it so that anytime I open a job under these departments, this particular question set will apply to these jobs. Once I'm happy with the configuration, I can move on to the next section. In the next video, we will review how to configure rejections for knockout screening questions, as well as how to determine whether or not a candidate was rejected through our knockout screening question. Thank you.